This is a rather challenging topic to frame and express in a coherent way. So here it goes. Anyone who's been in a relationship is most likely going to have experienced being attracted to someone else who's not your partner. And while it's a very common experience, it's not exactly socially acceptable. It's something that usually makes us feel quite ashamed of ourselves. It's this kind of sinful, secret experience that we don't want to talk about. We very often don't even want to face it within ourselves. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to go there at all because it's so wrong. But the reality is that if it's here, it's here. There's no denying it. There's no suppressing it. There's no hiding from it. The most effective way is to face it. So I think a good place to start with that is to understand what actually is attraction. And while this is not going to be a holistic definition or description of it, it's going to cover some bases that maybe not everyone has considered and not everyone has investigated. So attraction is not just about pheromones. It's not just about the chemical reactions and soul connections and things like that. Attraction is something that's also very much based on another person representing something that we feel we are lacking or that we desire. So, for example, let's say something that I've been suppressing for a long time was a sense of adventure. But then one day I met someone who, when I was around them, I was thinking outside the box. I was feeling confident. I wanted to go out and explore, and they wanted to do it with me. And within that, an attraction started developing. So that person is not making me feel that way. That experience is within me, because remember, anything that we experience is 100% our responsibility. It's my creation. It's my expression. It's me, only me. It's no one else making me feel anything. Anger, sadness, happiness, whatever. So when we meet someone who represents or embodies or creates the space for us to access parts of ourselves that we have been denying to ourselves, that very often gets linked in to attraction. And obviously then what follows that is this shame, this like, oh my God, I shouldn't be feeling this way. But also we're so strongly drawn to it because, or rather to that person, because they're making us feel this way. And it's a part of ourselves. So it's like we're being pulled into just experiencing this part of ourselves that we didn't even know about, or we didn't realize had been hiding there all this time, or that we've been wanting to express but didn't know how. And now finally we found a way that we can express this thing. We found an outlet for it. But if we allow ourselves to attribute that outlet to that one person, a lot of the time that attraction can become quite dangerous if we're already in a relationship. Because obviously what's something that is kind of a natural progression of attraction, it turns into lust, it turns into all of these things that become a little bit more difficult to control. And we might end up doing things that will harm our relationship. All right, so how I have dealt with attraction in the past is, first of all, I'll be very, very careful if I notice that I am attracted to someone. Because I know how that game goes. I know how much of a slippery slope it can be. And I know that attraction is something that is most of the time based on an energetic experience. And yes, that energetic experience is often linked to those parts of ourselves that we're now finally able to express and access and explore. But obviously with it comes that whole puppy love experience. And that is an energy that I am very careful with, that I do not allow myself to linger in, because it's one of those high emotional states that leads to impulsive decision making, that leads to not thinking things through clearly. It leads to behavior outside of what I might normally do, say, think in any other situation. So, step one, careful. And when I say careful, what I mean is slow way down. Think very carefully before saying anything, before doing anything. And also a lot of self-reflection, in that if I want to do something, I will check with myself, okay, what is driving this particular desire? Am I clear within it? Am I riding the energetic wave here? What's going on? Who am I within this? Then the next phase is going to be, or maybe not phase is the right word, but another aspect that becomes part of what I'll do is I'll look at the person I'm attracted to and ask, okay, what exactly am I attracted to here? What is this person representing to me that I want, or that I've been denying myself? And how can I create that within myself and for myself, independently of anyone else? So that I, once again, stand as that point of the principle of self-responsibility, of being responsible for who I am and how I express myself. And I'm not dependent on another person, because that links in with the whole energy game, where, and you'll probably be able to relate to this, where you meet someone who makes you feel a certain way, you ride the wave, you're with them all the time, you do all these things together, but you reach a point where they're not making you feel this way anymore. You have now kind of become independent, in that you can create this experience within yourself. You've practiced it enough. They've kind of been your crutch. And when that wave kind of crashes and you're left standing there and the attraction has faded away, a lot of the time, most of the time, you're left with this like, oh, well, I don't actually like this person anymore. Oh, well, whatever, and you find the next one. A lot of relationships end that way, where I'm not in love with them anymore, when the reality is that just that high, that emotional wave, and all of the things they made me feel, it's fizzled out. It's run its course. Energy always has a beginning and an end. In that we can't stay in the same energetic state indefinitely. It fades away. It becomes something else. our attention gets drawn elsewhere to find the next high. That's kind of what relationships seem to have become. It's just this looking for this high. Meet someone, everything goes well. You're feeling like it's puppy love, and then it's just not so exciting anymore, and it crashes. And then you look for someone else, you meet someone else, and it gets super exciting, puppy love, and ooh, lust, woo, and then crash. So I don't want to draw this video out forever and ever. As you can see, there are a lot of dimensions to this, but at the end of the day, the first thing that you can practice is that principle of self-responsibility, of what specifically within that person am I attracted to, and how can I take responsibility for that and create it within myself and create it within my partnership. Test it out. Maybe it's something that you can experiment with your partner. Maybe it's something that you can create together. And within that, you're honoring your commitment, and you're honoring your partnership together, and you're contributing to it in a way that's going to develop more growth, rather than you drawing away and becoming mentally obsessed with someone else, because this someone else apparently makes you feel so excited. So relationships that start based on that energetic experience of lust and puppy love and chasing the high and all of that, a lot of them do that crashing thing, because what's left after the energy fades away is not much, not enough to build a partnership on. All right, I'm going to end it there. If there are any particular points that you'd like to get a perspective on or talk about, let me know. Write a comment, write a message. Let's start being open to talking about the things that have been deemed shameful in the past, and get to a point where we can actually support ourselves and actually support each other, because these are things that everyone goes through. There is nothing wrong or bad or shameful about it. But if we can face it head on, remove that element of shame and just see it for what it is, we'll be able to learn things, we'll be able to build and grow on it, and we'll be able to make our partnerships that much stronger because of it. And ourselves, our relationship with ourselves. Don't forget that. Thanks for watching. You're going to see me next time.